fam, welcome back again to another video you guys were not expecting. So the thing is, I do consultation and all of that, and I noticed from my consultation from the comment section, I can see, I perceive some of you have some fears, some means, some doubts about this beautiful, special and spectacular country. So as the agbẹjọ́rò fún gbogbo immigration company, possible immigrant company, as the agbẹjọ́rò and the representative, it is my duty and honor to always come here to give you people my take and all of that. English is hard. So the thing is, I'll be claiming your means, your facts and there is one more thing, and fictions about living in Australia or migrating to Australia. First of all, means, if you're to go by definition of means in a layman's language, means it is somebody's reality. Maybe one person go to the experience something and then decide to say, that's what they used to do. The person just decide to generalize. That we call means. But fiction is called assumptions. Something that does not even exist. Something that does not even have a place. It continues to less and less. You get? Whereas, that's the third one. Facts, they are the real thing. And the like that. You shall understand it. So today, guys, I'll be claiming your facts, your means, and then your facts, your means, and which one did I call you? Your fictions about Australia, whether you're in Australia, whether you're moving to Australia, whether you are. So one thing I used to tell people is sometimes when you're making your decisions, right, even when I make videos, I used to tell people I've not been to these countries, but then I make my due research. Even when I'm making my due research, I don't just use a source. So when somebody is trying to advise you anything, sometimes you don't listen to advice from one person's point of view. For the fact that somebody experienced this does not mean you're going to experience it, because you don't share the same destiny. And the thing is, you don't have the same documents, the same experience, the same kenekon. Some people will go there, some people will try to do mago and everything, and then they will come and be advising you. So that is why it's good to hear from this person, hear from this person, hear from this person. And again, it also depends on individual, because some of you, it's only buku people used to have our friends. If it's unfortunate people used to have our friends, well, there's some advice that they will give you. You feel like it is generic. So that is why in life, you make friends with Olovi Buku, you make friends with good person, you make friends all around, then you take advice from all of them and compare. But if you keep making friends with somebody that the life have, that's the advice that is going to be pushing you. So when I'm doing consultation for somebody, or somebody in the comment, somebody said, who is that somebody? What is the status of that somebody? What is the real story that happened that somebody? It's just like when people say Canada deny visa a lot. That is the only thing they will say. They will not say the plateau. They will not say how they will not tell you the cocoa of the. They will just say Canada is wicked. They used to deny visa a lot. Full stop. They will not say the in-depth and everything. So if you are watching this video, I want you people to be wise. If somebody says something, let them back up their claim. Ask them the real truth. Don't just come and say one-sided something. How did the thing take happen? What do you do? No be just to report matter. Ask the person, waiting be the thing will happen. Go. I don't they talk too much for this intro. So I'm claiming your doubts about Australia. So the first one on my list that most people actually talk about is animals. When you talk about Australia, the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is Australia. And truthfully, before I actually started this channel, I used to have that type of belief, maybe if you go to some of my channels, right, I used to talk about Australia and animals. You know that when you're in your career, you progress every day, every time. The sense that I had when I started my channel is not the sense that I have now. Yes, and that's why in CV, sometimes when they want to recruit you for a job, they will say at least 1 year experience, at least 2 years experience, because they know that the common sense you have when you started is not the sense you have this thing. So that's some of it. When you leave comments in my old videos and I say, Shebi, you say, please, that was not me. That was not me. You don't expect me to know all at the beginning of my career, and that is why they say consistency makes experience something. So it's just like you saying a doctor that just started working in the hospital. and comparing a doctor that has been there for years and have a lot of cases and all of that. Yeah. So in career, people grow. Yeah. You allow yourself to grow, you self-develop yourself. Yeah. And all of that. So today I can say it's like this, tomorrow I come and say, even you, that is not how the thing is. You. So guys, today as when I'm making this video, all these points, they're actually valid till stated otherwise by me. So your doubts about Australia. The first one on my list is animals. People actually feel like, I say, I used to believe in this myth as well when I am not yet grounded in immigration, that they're actually dangerous animals in Australia. Are they truly dangerous animals in Australia? Yes. Do Australia have more animals than humans? Yes, it is absolutely true. So what exactly am I claiming? Statistics shows that if you are to show statistics, and these dangerous animals, they have snake, they have spider. You know, in Nigeria, when you see spider, you can use your batawa solo loco. But you see that they are spider very poisonous. Do you understand? All those animals that we used to use hand and just walk up past, that's their own. If they ukulele, hey, ukulele. But then, in as much as we feel like Australia has more animals, right? They have more animals than humans. And then these animals, they are very dangerous. So how do you think somebody will go and live there? The truth of the matter is, if you ask anybody living in Australia, I'll be making 2 points. The first one is, if you know anybody acting in Australia, some people, they've lived in Australia for how many years, and they've not even seen these animals in their eye. Like one TV loju. And that's because these animals are not just left to just wander around. They are mostly found in non-residential places. So it is you that devil is pushing, that you want to go and look for trouble, that you go and walk out to the place. So it's not as if inside your house you will see animal, inside your Disney you see animal. It's not like that. Even that time that there was this common cases of snake in the toilet, you people remember that scenario now? Even in Nigeria, snake in the toilet, I never heard a single case. Maybe it's there, but a single case in Australia that there was snake in the toilet, despite Australia is known as dominant snake habitat. Not a single case. Whereas in countries like Nigeria and Africa, we claim that we don't inhabit with animals. But now when they shop animal, most people actually die more of animal. So according to statistics, if you actually to compare the animal bite and animal people that actually die from animal poison, people in Africa, yeah, they actually die more from animal poison than in Australia. In fact, in a year, you might not even see 1 or 2 person that will actually die from animal bite. And that 1 or 2 person is all these white people. You know, these white people that like to experiment nonsense. That they will go and see lion and be putting hand in the hand of lion. I mean, I will see snake and be saying, hey, my baby. You know, those type of extraordinary white people. You know, they like to experiment. So if you hear anybody in Australia died of animal bite, anyway, that means is that person left his or her house and went into the zoo to go and look for trouble. That's the only case. But then if you're in your house, from house to work, anything, animal cannot come to you because they have their own zone. And if there's any zone that maybe in a residential area that there is animals, there's always this signboard, not like signboard, like caution that they used to put, beware of clinical animal, beware of clinical. So it's when you now use your head and enter, that one is on your head. And then the second one I'll be addressing is even if there's actually any animal bite or any poisonous this thing that might actually lead to death, right? Even if there's any animal bite, there are medicals, there are urgent numbers. Is that the word? Urgent, all the 771, all those emergency number that you can call. Not just you can call, they actually have treatment for it. For example, in Nigeria now, I don't really know. They don't really have, not Nigeria, in Africa, you can't compare the antivenom of Australia to Africa. Yes, you understand what I'm trying to say. So that one, even if you're in Australia, even if devil push you, you enter where the animal is and there is anything like that, you have access to faster, quicker medical response, right? So it's a different thing. You stay, like in Nigeria now, we say there's no animal. You can stay in your house and wake up and see snake. If the snake bites you, before, who do you want to call? Unless you call your brother and your sister. And before that, your brother and sister come. Traffic, this one, that one. Do you understand the difference like that? So that's, we may even say that even if you actually enter the animal dungeons, there are actually numbers you can call for emergency response, and they will come to your rescue immediately. In fact, I think it's part of the first aid board, something like that. I hope I have clarified that. So Australia having animals or not is not an excuse, because even you, most of my viewers, you Africans, even you, we have more animals. We have some of you inside your house. If you go to your kitchen, all those places that you are saving nylon, if you remove all those nylon, you will see like 52 rats that will come outside. Some of you harbor cats. Some of you different animals. And that's because some of us, not some of us, I'm not part of you people. Some of you build houses near bushes. Some people, you will see a very fine house, a very fine mansion. Inside bush, you see only the mansion will be staying like this, then you see bushes around. In that type of situation. And the thing is, even when most of these people, when they build houses inside bush, right, in the middle of bush, they do not fumigate. But outside the country, in Australia, they actually have this fumigation policy. Like if the house is near the bush and everything, all those fumigation, maybe every 6 months or anything, to actually expel the what's it called, the animals away. Yeah. So I remember when I moved to this estate, there's a bush that is not too far from me, that I used to look. At that time, you'll be seeing cockroach, you'll be seeing this thing. So at that time, they came to fumigate everything. So even if your house is near bush, whether in Nigeria, whether in Africa, whether anywhere you find yourself, always make sure to fumigate that bush at least once. I don't know, depending on the chemical you're using, depending on the distance, or depending on the fumigate the bush. There's a way they used to do it, and then fumigate your compound. Yeah, you can actually fumigate your compound. In as much as when you fumigate your compound, it will expect it. But there's this type of fumigation they used to use for compound that it used to stay. You might not smell it as human, but the animals, they will actually smell it. I hope you understand that. Just like fleet, if you fleet the room, right, you are is humans, we can still stay up to 5 minutes before you go outside. But then these cockroaches, these animals, right, they can't withstand a few seconds of that insecticide. And that's because we as humans, we have more developed sense organs than these cockroaches. You get, you know, these cockroaches, if you have to look at biology, they are from the lower division of I've forgotten that in biology, but you people remember essential biology. The lower division, so their sense organ is not as developed as mine. So them, they will smell something faster, quicker than we, right? But us, sometimes we'll flit the room. I say, I forget my charger. You still be looking for charger, and the thing is entering your nose. It's not safe for your health though. But we go still gather body. When you run outside, you exhale. But this cockroach, they can't. Once you do feel like this, I'm talking about original insecticide, not the fake one. You could panic. You get. There was one that I saw in my living room. I never stressed on them. Come have my fair. Oh Lord, a boy. So that's the first one. I've cleared it. So animals or not, that's not an excuse for you to move to Australia. So the second reason the second maybe fact on my list is Australia is far. I hear this a lot. Sometimes when you go through a client CV and then I'm like, Australia will be the best bet for you for this your occupation, and the client is like, Australia is too far. My question is, are you gonna trek there? No, are you going to trek there? Why is it far? Whether you are going to UK, Nigeria to UK is not far, right? Whether you are going to UK, whether you are going to the cocoa is you are entering aeroplane, and even when you enter aeroplane, are you going to drive there? Are you the one driving the aeroplane? Even new advanced aeroplane now, the pilot does not even drive. Before maybe they used to drive. You will just press the machine. This is how you will sit down. At the co-pilot, they'll be monitoring the machine. They don't even drive. So what is your stress in it? Are you trekking there? How will distance is not a barrier to success? And you know that Australia is one of those countries that pays the highest minimum wage. I'm sure you're aware. So how will you say to go and collect highest minimum wage? The place is far. Please, according to my record, sure you are hearing. According to my immigration record, the only place that is far to me is heaven. Is heaven. That's the only place that is far. As long as the place is in this head, the place is safe, and the thing will drop money. Please, distance is nothing but a excuse. But some people might feel like maybe for the first time they are not going with their family. That way they see their family. It's because you are broke. Even if you leave Nigeria to Ghana, if you don't have money for flight, Nigeria to Ghana that is now too far from. Even Ghana is even far. Nigeria to Cameroon, even if you go there to go and work and they're paying you money, if you don't have money for your flight, you cannot still see your family. So whether you're in UK, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in Kenya, to see your family depends on if you have the money. But I understand that flying to Australia is expensive, yes. But then Some of you can't go to Australia, but you can go to Canada. Are you aware that Canada flight ticket is expensive? It's like you would not know. You would think it's like UK. Canada on too is expensive. Even America, you know, those places, they are far from Nigeria. You know, Nigeria as a country is Africa, right? And Canada, USA, they are another continent. So when you're moving from one continent to another, obviously, it's gonna be far. It's gonna be far. You got me? I'm sure you got me. I'm sure you should just study. Remember continents. We have Africa, we have America, we have Australia itself is actually a continent. So how do you expect it to be close? No, tell me. So it's only when you are moving within the same continent that okay, it's not far. But once you're moving from one continent to another, it's gonna be far. It's gonna be far. So I hope you understand that. The next means on my list of fact or fiction is getting Australia permanent residency is difficult. I tell people a lot, in as much as going through Australia PR list is kind of dicey. It's not so relaxed. Maybe yeah, like Canada. Canada, they're looking for immigrants. That's just their own. They don't. But Australia, you know, like I said, is a continent on its own. They even come out. Some prefer animals than humans. That's their own way of life. So the thing is, it is not difficult to get permanent resident in Australia. What is actually difficult is research. People do not make their due research before moving to Australia. They just say the thing is, most people just go to Australia permanent residency list and they say, oh, my occupation is there, and that's it. Are you playing? Are you joking? And that's why I tell people that when you're going to Australia, right, if you feel like you're moving to Australia, come here and pay me your consultation fee, send me your CV. There are actually things to look out for. Not be all job where they permanent that list that you can go. The thing is, you can see your job this year and you say, oh, then my job is on the PR list, Abby. You go next year, they would have removed it from the list. Or maybe during your study, they'll wait for you. When you are about to apply for the PR, you look for your occupation, you can't find it again. What happened? It has gone on vanishing. Yes, that is the mistake people make. But then there are some ways you can check it, that there are some occupations that no matter how, no matter how, they are always on that list, and that is the essence of paying for consultation. So if you feel like you're moving to Australia, you want to go and work, even you want to go and study, because I can see some people, they are going to Australia to study. When you say, which course are you going for, they'll just mention a course. I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? Because some people actually feel like when you get to Australia, you can also yes, you can also, you can get any job as your normal 20 hours per week work here, you can. But then, who is gonna sponsor you? Who is gonna sponsor you? If your occupation is not on the list, how will you see sponsor my brother and my sister? Don't be using a UK list, occupation list to judge Australia list, and don't use Canada occupation list to judge Australia. That is why these countries, they have their own distinctive websites. So anything you're doing, if you're going to Australia, you go to Australia, is that place that you can't find everything. If you're going to Canada, you go to their website. Because a particular occupation can be in demand in UK, whereas they not send the paper in Australia. And that's because what's it called? Continents, but then they don't have plenty of people. Whereas comparing UK to Australia, Australia is actually bigger. Like Australia is actually a continent on its own, right? So, but for UK, they have more people. So there are some jobs that will obviously be in demand than in Australia, because a job will be in demand only when it is needed by the population. I hope you understand that. Just like this care job, right? Because they have more people in UK, they have more people that are retiring and all of that. But then in Australia, how many people do they have? So don't just feel like because this particular occupation is in popular demand and then every country needs it. I've made and then another thing I will say is, just for example, if you study medicine in UK, do you know that you can do your, if for example a Nigerian girl like me, if I go to UK to study medicine, right, I can do my internship after graduating as a medical student. I can do my internship in the UK. Even during studying, I can do my internship in the UK, and after that I can do my foundation year. But then if I study medicine in Australia, do you know that after my graduation, After holding that thing that look like book like this, that thing that have removed my graduation gown, do you know that I'm supposed to pack my bag and come back to Nigeria to come and do my internship? Do you know that? Now, are you aware? Some people are in Australia now, they are studying medicine, but they don't know this. It is when they get to like 4th or 5th year or 6th year, they will not be So how will you spend that type of plenty money in Australia to study medicine only for you to come back to your home country and come and do internship? Where is the sense in that? Go hear me, man. It's not jail. So it's better go buy UK. So I used to tell people, don't use same stone that used to measure UK to measure Australia to measure Canada, because these things, they are different. So that's just to buttress my point, because in as much as if I'm actually a medical doctor in Nigeria, I can move to Australia to practice as a doctor. But if I go to Australia to study as a medical doctor, I will not even see internship. I will not see placement. I have to come back to Nigeria to do my placement. Are you seeing the difference between Australia and different countries? That's why I say Australia is not hard. The PR is not hard. It is people that actually fail to make their due research. So most people that go to Australia to study medicine, they'll feel like, oh, after this thing, I'll do my internship and that one I'll be practicing as a doctor. You can't go to Australia to study medicine, feel like you do your internship and then do as a practice. You have to cross border. Yes. Unless on special occasion, if you have leg and you see somebody to recruit you. In fact, from the school website, there's a place they hide it. They will tell you that internship is not guaranteed. You have it in, they'll even tell you, have it in mind that you're going back to your country after you're 60. So do you not understand the difference? So then, if you don't have students, imagine I'm in Nigeria, I already know this. So imagine somebody that is in Australia that went to study medicine. The person is now saying, Australia, they are wicked. Australia, they are this. These rules are there. I'm not saying it's a crime that you must not do it, but the thing is, because there is no space for you. How many people are in Australia that you want to be doing internship? Do you know how many medical schools is there? How many people can they intern? Do you understand? So sometimes, before you relocate to country, make sure you make your due research. And that is why people like us are here for you to come, hold your money. As long as you hold your money for consultation, don't worry, I got you covered. So it's not just by you waking up and just say, oh, I'm going to this particular country. Can you come? Make your due research. And if you can't make your due research, all your consultation money, what will help you with the research? Now the job, what would they do now? Our full-time job. Anyways, the next on my list is, can you people believe that I wrote this thing inside my book? I can't find it. I'm just talking from my head. Are you people aware? I'm sure you're not aware. So the next on my list, which other this thing? So the next on my list is Australia visa is difficult to get. Australia visa is one of the easiest, if not the easiest visa to get. Australia and Canada, easiest to get. Firstly, Australia does not do physical interview. Your interview is in whatever you submit. So there is no chance to even ask your question. There's no chance. So it is your application that will actually tell. Australia visa is not, in fact, is the easiest. They don't deny visa a lot. As long as you have a